You are welcome here. Wherever you're going to, wherever you're coming from, you are welcome here. You are welcome here. Wherever you're going to, wherever you're coming from, you are welcome here. 'Cause it's a house of love, a house of hopes and dreams. It's a house of love, and you are welcome here. 'Cause it's a house of love, a house of hopes and dreams. It's a house of love, and you are welcome here. Bring your burdens here, lay them down at my feet. I will help carry them. You are welcome here. Bring your happiness, let it wash over me. The sharing will set us free. You are welcome here. 'Cause it's a house of love, a house of hopes and dreams. It's a house of love, and you are welcome here. 'Cause it's a house of love, a house of hopes and dreams. It's a house of love, and you are welcome here. Let your true self shine, shining for all to see. No need to pretend, you are welcome here. Open up your heart, throw the doors open wide. Love shared is multiplied. You are welcome here. 'Cause it's a house of love, a house of hopes and dreams. It's a house of love, and you are welcome here. 'Cause it's a house of love, a house of hopes and dreams. It's a house of love, and you are welcome here.
Be it real or metaphor, whatever is in your backpack or your briefcase or your purse that you've brought into this sanctuary that is weighing you down, leave it behind. Whatever you are carrying that is keeping you distracted or caught up in shame or guilt or hopelessness, leave it behind. If you need it, it will be there when we're done. But for this hour, just let it go. Come into this place with open hearts. Come into this place with a soul that has remembered how to be tender again. Come into this place with a renewed hope for this world. Come into this place ready to build a world we've always been worthy of and have always dreamed of.
Our chalice lighting today is A Spark of Hope by Melanie Davis.
If there were ever a time for a candle in the darkness, this would be it.
Using a spark of hope, kindle the flame of love.
Ignite the light of peace and
feed the flame of justice.
We have entered into the season of Advent, a time of waiting. And yet, friends, I think we might all agree that this Advent feels like a continuation of a very long season of waiting. Waiting for life to return to something we recognize, waiting for our breath to come with more ease. As we contemplate the meaning of each of these soon-to-be glowing candles in our Advent wreath, I light the first candle for the patience to embrace the spirit of love that opens us to moments of joy, a renewal of hope, and the peace that brings comfort in challenging times.
Sing to the power of the faith within. Sing to the power of the faith within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the faith within. Sing to the power of the faith within. Sing to the power of the faith within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the hope within. Sing to the power of the love within. Sing to the power of the love within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the love within. Sing to the power of the joy within. Sing to the power of the joy within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the joy within.
Good morning. I am Reverend Julie Conradi, the settled minister of the UU Church of Birmingham. In an effort to beat our pandemic boredom, my family and I made a gratitude tree where we wrote upon the paper leaves all the things we were thankful for. My 2-year-old didn't quite get it, so I wrote on his 3 loves: Elmo, basketball, and music. My 6-year-old only had one thing he could think of: the World of Warcraft Shadowlands expansion. I wrote on my leaf that I'm thankful the pandemic gave us the opportunity to avoid awkward political discussions around the Thanksgiving table this year. What are you thankful for? Who are you thankful for? I know it's easy to be cynical. This year there has been so much loss, anger, disappointment, frustration, and death and grief. It is important to acknowledge our losses and to grieve. We can hold multiple truths at the same time. We can acknowledge these losses and make a spiritual practice of gratitude. Cultivating gratitude is more important now than ever. Our world religious traditions all have a lot to say about gratitude. The Psalms in the Hebrew Scriptures are filled with verses of thankfulness. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Gratitude for the abundance you have received is the best insurance that the abundance will continue." Sufis are taught to be thankful for the gifts they receive and for the gifts they do not receive. And they focus on being grateful for the capacity to be grateful. Our pagan folks have entire rituals around gratitude. Not all of our traditions tie gratitude to divine beings. Buddhist teacher Jack Kornfield advises us to be grateful for difficulties. He said, "It's really the difficult times that teach us the most. In certain temples that I've been to, there's actually a prayer that you make asking for difficulties. The prayer goes like this: May I be given the appropriate difficulties so that my heart can truly open with compassion." Let me repeat that. May I be given the appropriate difficulties so that my heart can truly open with compassion. How do our challenges open our hearts to compassion? One humanist celebrant, Van Curren, wrote a non-prayer celebrating gratitude and thanksgiving that goes like this: corn and grain, meat and milk, upon our table width and length, with loving thought and careful craft, through so many hands have passed. Essence of life, fruits of our labors, bringing sustenance and strength to ours and all our neighbors. May we all be grateful for all we have, and compassion for those without. Regardless of your spiritual journey to Unitarian Universalism, gratitude is a universal virtue, one where we can be encouraged to cultivate gratitude. Cultivating gratitude is also good for our mental health. Our social sciences encourage facilitating gratefulness. Dr. Joanne Sang, a psychologist at Baylor University, reports this: there's something called a grateful personality that some psychologists have studied. They find that if you're greater in the grateful personality, you tend to have increased life satisfaction, happiness, optimism, hope, positive emotion, and less anxiety and depression. Believe it or not, this election season reminded us of many things we have to be thankful for. We are thankful that this election garnered the most votes out of any election in the history of our country. We are grateful that in local, state, and national elections around the country, more diverse voices were brought to the table by voters, and glass ceilings and barriers were shattered everywhere. We are so thankful for the work of Stacey Abrams and so many other women of color in Georgia who made it a point to get out the vote, register voters, and include more voices in Georgia politics. And in a move that stunned us all, including more voices in Georgia politics meant the history of Georgia and what it stands for was transformed, all because more voices were brought to the table. We are so thankful for our neighbors on the other side in Mississippi, who voted to remove images of the Confederacy from their state flag. And here in Alabama, we are so thankful Amendment 4 passed, meaning our state constitution will be cleaned up to remove racist imagery and inferences. We have hope in a future where representation matters and more voices have a say in how we govern our country. It is a great start. Because of all his flaws, our soon-to-be former President Trump has made us a more grateful people. For the past 4 years, we have lost so much ground in valuing and respecting the diverse cultures and peoples who actually make America great. We have learned the past 4 years that we can take nothing for granted. We are a more grateful people because we can see how much we have truly lost, how close we have come to losing even more rights and protections, and how even battles we thought we won are now up for grabs again. We have watched as people of color, the LGBTQ community, the immigrant community, the disabled community, and so many others in our community of communities have lost rights and protections for the last 4 years. We have to keep working every moment, appreciating every moment and every milestone, thankful for every moment our democracy has not erupted into chaos. We have watched for the past 4 years how our democracy has gotten so close to descending into chaos. The protests, the civil unrest, the peak of COVID-19 in May, the record-breaking numbers of COVID-19 in October and November. And now we have this faint hope of a vaccine representing hope for returning to the way things were, when in reality, it will be months before most of us are able to get the vaccine. And we all know returning to the way things were does not benefit all of us. I'm thankful that Pfizer waited until after the election to announce their news, but Big Pharma is not accustomed to working in our best interests, so it is important that we stay vigilant. What I want to challenge us to do this morning is to cultivate gratitude, even in the midst of our struggle, our suffering, and our pain. To find those parts of life for which we are thankful and appreciative. When our minds veer to what we have lost, to use our mindfulness techniques to bring us back to gratitude. For even the smallest moments are worth appreciating. As I considered this gratitude and appreciation for every moment, I realized this is what folks of color and others from marginalized communities have been telling us for a long time, and certainly over this summer, as their voices were amplified. This is what life is like for many in marginalized communities, where every moment counts, where every moment is a challenge between life and death. Like the eternity being pulled over by the police at a traffic stop and getting to drive home safely. Those suspenseful moments when you pass someone wearing a MAGA hat at the grocery store. The time between walking toward a public restroom and leaving it unscathed. Those moments when you are bird watching in the park or sleeping in your own house or barbecuing or going to church without interruptions. Normal activities for some of us are not even a guarantee of life for all of us. You may feel like we don't have a lot to be grateful for this year. There are so many images and phrases and people saying, I am done with 2020. But you all give me hope. On my Facebook page, I asked you to share with me what you were thankful for, and I expected 5 to 6 responses. The comments grew exponentially. Not everyone had a lot to be thankful for, but everyone found something. It's good for our souls to be grateful. All this loss and grief is exactly why we should intentionally count our blessings, to count the things we are thankful for, to appreciate those around us who give us life and love. Because this is the test of gratitude. Not when things are so good that we can list a million things about what's going well, but when we really feel like we are in the wilderness or in the struggle or in a liminal place. This is the time to cultivate our gratitude. It is one of the few spiritual practices that we as Unitarian Universalists can agree upon. It is good for us, good for our souls to be appreciative of what we do have, because we know there are so many who do without. Take some time today, before this Thanksgiving holiday officially ends, to write or say or think or post or TikTok, whatever format you choose, about what you are thankful for. And if a person or an animal comes to mind, I encourage you to offer your gratitude to them out loud or in writing and share it with them. Our world is in need of positive energy right now. Cultivate gratitude. Share love. Remember those who are missed. May you be held in the heart of community until we are joyfully reunited in person. Blessed be.
We come from the fire, living in the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around.
We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around.
We come from the mountain, living on the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Do you know who I am? Do I know who you are? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Do you know who I am? Do I know who we are? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Whoa, so is life what you are. So is life. Whoa, so is life what you are. So is life.
Water makes the river, river wash the mountain. Fire makes the sunlight, turn the world round.
Heart is of the river, body is the mountain, spirit is the sunlight, turn the world around. We are of the spirit, truly of the spirit, only can the spirit turn the world around. Whoa, so is life what you are. So is life. Whoa, so is life what you are. So is life. Whoa, so is life what you are. So is life. Whoa, so is life what you are. So is life.
Well, hello, families and kids and, well, everyone from around Alabama and the Gulf Coast region that's joining us today. It's great to be with you. As you use, one of the foundations of our faith is the idea that we are united by our deeds, the work we commit to do in this world, instead of a creed, what someone else thinks we should believe. So this book I'm going to share with you today highlights many ways that Unitarian Universalists take action in the world. And parents, if you have little ones and are looking for a good early picture book, maybe this could be a fun pick. I hope you enjoy it today. Here we go. This book is called A is for Activist, and it was written and illustrated by Inosanto Nagata. A is for activist, advocate, abolitionist, ally, actively answering a call to action. Are you an activist? B is for banner, bobbing in the sky, billowing in the breeze, 'cause you're not shy. I actually have a friend that did this kind of protesting. Really exciting stuff. C is for co-op, cooperating cultures, creative counter to corporate vultures. Oh, and cats. Can you find the cats? One of the things that's interesting about this book is that there's a cat on every page. If you want to, you can try to find the cat as I keep going forward. Have fun with that. Little d democracy. More than voting, you'll agree. Dictators detest it. Donkeys don't get it. But you and me, we demand equality. Equal rights, black, brown, or white, clean and healthy is a right. Every place we live and play, environmental justice is the way. F is for feminist, for fairness in our pay, for freedom to flourish and choose our own way. G is for grassroots, sprouting from below, sharing nutrients and the water's flow. Below the surface, we're all connected. Stronger together, we grow. H is for healthy food, a human right. Honeydew, jicama, nature's delight. Hummus, hot dogs, Havarti cheese. Hot dogs? Yes, healthy hot dogs, please. And pizza. I, indigenous and immigrant, together we stand tall. Our histories are relevant. An injury to one is an injury to all. J is for justice. Yay for justice. Jia Jing Zhang, Juanita, Jamal, justice for the janitors, justicia for all. K. Kings are fine for story time. Knights are fun to play. But when we make decisions, we will choose the people's way. LGBTQ. Love who you choose, 'cause love is true. Liberate your notions of limited emotions. Celebrate with pride our links of devotion. M. Megaphones marching. Movimiento music. Hip hip hooray. It must be May Day. N is for no. No, no, no. Yes to what we want. No to what must go. No, no, no. O. Open minds operate best. Critical thinking over tests. Wisdom can't be memorized. Educate, agitate, organize. P. Peace march. Protest. Pow, pow, power to the people. Yay! Q is for question. Questioning coercion. Querying qualities counter false assertions. That seems relevant these days. R. Radical Reds, the headline said. Ruinous rioters, the rumors spread. Rabble-rousing riffraff. Really? This picture doesn't look like rabble-rousing riffraff to me. S is for sun, soul, solar. Superstar, stellar power. Fuels all life, not just flowers. Energized homes, cars, and showers. Silly, selfish scoundrels sucking on dinosaur sludge? Boo, hiss. T is for trans. For trains, tiaras, tulips, tractors, and tigers too. Trust in the true, the he, she, they, that is you. U is for weekends. U is for workers' rights. Wait, that's not you. That's W. U is for union. Union, yes. V is for Vox. What? Did you say Fox? No, I said Vox. Did you say Vox? No, Vox. Rocks, blocks, socks? Vox. Vox of the people. Voice of the populi. Better go see the letter D. W. Wondrous world. Wondrous we. We cannot be whole. We cannot be free unless we delight in diversity. X is for Malcolm, as in Malcolm X. History's lessons can be complex. Remember Parks, remember King, remember Malcolm, and let freedom ring. Y is for youth, and your planet, your rights, your future, your truth. Y is for yes, yes, yes. And finally, Z. Z is for Zapatista, of course. Now, parents, if you're not sure what Zapatista is, you could check out a great little documentary called People Without Faces. Then you'll learn about the Zapatista. I watched it. It was pretty cool. And that takes us to the end of this book. I had a lot of fun reading it. I hope you had a good time listening and thinking about some of the things we use do for justice. And I hope you have a good rest of the service today. See you soon. Take care.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Chris Rothbauer, minister at Auburn Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. You know, as a Unitarian Universalist, I strongly believe that it's my duty to take my faith into the world to create a more just and equitable place for everyone. I think this is especially necessary in times such as these, for we know that simply having a new president in the Oval Office will not end the attacks on the values we hold so dear. One way we can bring our values into the world is through the generosity of our talents, our time, but today I'm speaking of our treasure. Yes, generosity can be a shared yes to sharing our values in the world, a concrete way of affirming what we hold dear in these uncertain times. This morning, we will collect a shared offering to declare our shared yes as Unitarian Universalists in Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. There were so many worthy causes that we could have chosen this morning, and all of them deserve your support. But today, we've chosen to highlight an organization whose work is especially important in the current uncertain climate. This morning, 100% of our offering will go to support the Yellowhammer Fund. The Yellowhammer Fund is a 501c3 abortion fund and reproductive justice organization serving Alabama and the Deep South. They envision a society in which reproductive decisions are made free from coercion, shame, or state interference, a society in which individuals and communities have autonomy in making healthy choices regarding their bodies and their futures. They commit themselves to community education and empowerment, policy advocacy, and the development of systems of mutual aid to ensure that their friends, families, and neighbors never go without the things they need. Please give generously as you are willing and able to bring the spirit of Unitarian Universalism into our region, our nation, and our world. To make an offering online, please visit uucbham.org/donate, and please indicate that your offering is for the November 29th offering. The offering will now be gratefully received. Thank you for your generosity.
Friends near and far, will you join me now for a time of prayer and meditation? Let's take some good, deep breaths together. This is the moment that we pause. This is the hour where we come to rest, come to draw nearer to the holy. This is our sweet time to be together. Spirit of life, spirit that accompanies us in this beautiful and brutal life, draw near to us now. As we convene together in this moment, we are brought out of our separate lives. And we are brought in to the wholeness of this larger life we build in community. Spirit, as we are with each other, we name that our hearts are holding a lot these days. We are holding on to gratitude. Gratitude for the life we have despite all our challenges. Gratitude for the people and the places and the special times that bring us so much meaning. This day, we are holding awe. Awe as we witness this gorgeous earth transform and change once again. We are in awe of the brilliant leaves, the warming sunlight, the rushing waters and flowing air. We are holding joy. Joy for the privilege to share worship with our siblings in spirit, our kindred Unitarian Universalists all over Alabama and the Gulf Coast. What a joy it is. In spirit, as much as we are buoyed up by this gratitude, this awe, this joy, we're also holding much heavier burdens too. We are holding tension, the tension of uncertainty in our country, the tension of deep-seated disagreements that live in our families and our neighborhoods. So much tension between the world we have and the world we dream of. We are holding grief. Grief for all those beloveds lost to COVID-19 and all those who we may still lose. We are holding grief for all we have lost in memories, in moments, in time with the people and places that we love. We hold this loss and this grief. And in this time of holiday gatherings, many of us are holding guilt. Guilt for having gathered, or just as bitter, guilt for having chosen not to. We carry guilt that stems from the questions, did we do enough? Was this a mistake? Was this just what we needed? What will life look like going forward? We hold those questions so tenderly. Spirit that touches our hearts and holds us together, help us to be in community with each other. Help us celebrate deservedly the gratitude, the awe, the joy, and help us too to experience that grief, that tension, that guilt. This is so human too. Let us be reminded, and let us remind each other through the prayers and meditations of our hearts that we need each other, that together we are enough and that we can carry much more together than we ever could alone. And now, let us take a breath again. Let us focus our hearts and minds in a moment of shared silence. Blessed be, and amen.
Everything is about to change, and it already has. It will be, it was, it is. The dawn you eagerly await to end the long cold darkness is already full sun far off in the east. Yet even after light's return, spring is months away. 30 long years pass after his birth before the Messiah comes. Stones of justice have been tossed in the lake, but their ripples have not yet arrived, have not resolved into the kingdom already present among us. While we wait, let us seek, in the darkness of the now and not yet, for the treasures God has hidden there, the riches of the secret places only found by night. This is what is promised us. The wheel of life turns ever on, and darkness is a path to joy.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Ruth Van Lillian, the minister at the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Tuscaloosa. Dr. Cornel West, American philosopher, political activist, social critic, and author, shared these ideas. I've never been tied to one party or one candidate or even one institution, and that's true even with one church as a Christian. I'm committed to truth and justice. When you socially neglect a people, when you economically abandon a people, when you transfer wealth from them to the well-to-do, what are a people going to do? They're going to respond with very sad forms of despair. And that's true for everybody. I don't care what color you are. Clever gimmicks for mass distraction yield a cheap soulcraft of addicted and self-medicated narcissists. My brother Mike is a tennis coach. He used to play competitively when he was young, even won a divisional championship. He was pretty good. And even at 47, with a bit of a middle-age spread, he can still hold his own on a court. Me? Well, I'm hopeless. I can't throw. I can't catch. I can't hit a ball to save my life. Mom bought me a tennis racket when I was 12. Might as well have taught me to mash potatoes with it. I am useless in regard to such sports. My dreams during adolescence were haunted by the admonition, Ruth, keep your eye on the ball. I tried. I watched those tennis balls and softballs and basketballs coming at me, but it was no good. I even got decked by a frisbee once. Right on the forehead. Knocked me down. Now, what's interesting about my brother's great success with tennis is that he's blind in one eye. He's been blind since infancy in that eye. Yet somehow he manages to keep his one good eye on those balls and hit them every time. With two eyes, I still can't manage. How does Mike do it? I actually talked with an ocular specialist about this once, who theorized that one-eyed athletes learn to associate the appearance of the change in size of the ball with proximity. As the ball appears to get bigger in the monocular field of vision, the brain learns that this means it's getting closer. This is my brother's substitute for depth perception. Friends, are we Unitarian Universalist keeping our collective eye on the ball? Recent events have been very absorbing, even mesmerizing. The election and all the chaos and drama that have resulted are demanding all our attention and threatening to distract us from the faith-based work we are called to do. Did you get involved in the election process as a means of living out your UU faith and expressing your affirmation of the democratic process, as it says in our fifth principle? Good for you. Did all your candidates win in the election? Did you get everything you were hoping for? Were you disappointed by some of the results? Are you maybe feeling tired, discouraged, depressed? Are you pleased with the success of your chosen candidates? Have you breathed a huge sigh of relief and now you're ready to relax and put your feet up? Are you wondering, what now? What next? Senator Bernie Sanders reminds us that election days come and go, but the struggle of the people to create a government which represents all of us and not just the 1%, a government based on the principles of economic, social, racial, and environmental justice, that struggle continues. Do we have our collective eye on the ball? Many things have happened in the last few weeks, but it is vital that we remember that some things do not change. Some people are still going to bed hungry. Some children are still wearing dirty, ill-fitting clothes to school. Some elderly folk are still piling sweaters on their beds to keep warm because they can't afford heat. Efforts at voter suppression and disenfranchisement of persons of color will continue. White supremacy will still permeate and poison our society at every level. Governments will continue to train police to enforce laws with unnecessary and disproportionate violence. Oppression of every kind will continue. And so there is much work yet to do. Do we have our eye on the ball? Discouragement and hopelessness are luxuries we cannot afford. If the election wore you out, take a break. Rest, recreate, care for yourself. Just don't sit out too long. If the election left you elated, then celebrate, dance, and sing. Just don't wander too far away. Injustice and need never rest, no matter who sits in the White House. There is much work yet to do. And it's okay that we may be called to different roles in this work. Some of us were born to march and roll through the streets, waving signs and chanting together to make the world see the number of folk who demand right and reject wrong. Some of us are natural caretakers who follow Rabbi Jesus' mandate to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, and visit the sick and imprisoned. Some of us are natural writers and prophets who write and speak to persuade and teach. Some of us are artists holding up mirrors for people to see their lives and using our arts as testimony of the broken world we witness and the healing we long for. Maybe you're just tired of it all, tired of the election, of the media coverage, of the COVID pandemic, of separation and caution and fear, of ongoing violence in the streets, of rampant racism and calls for painful internal examination and personal change. I get it. I know. So rest a bit. Just remember that resting is part of your privilege. The homeless don't get to rest. The oppressed don't get to take a break. The abused and exploited don't get a breather. Black, indigenous, and other persons of color never live without the dangerous and exhausting consequences of white supremacy culture every day of their lives. Poverty does not take a vacation, and injustice never sleeps. Don't get distracted, my siblings and kindred. Let's keep our eye on the ball. This is a very long game indeed, and our efforts for transformation of our world on behalf of love and justice are needed now more than ever. Musical artist and activist Talib Kweli reminds us to head straight to the compassion. Everything else is a distraction. Amen. Shalom. Blessed be.
Though days be dark with storms and burdens weigh my heart, though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on. When sorrow heals my soul and burdens make me strong, though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on. And though the journey is long, the destination is near. Though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on.
The chalice is now extinguished, but its light lives on in the minds and hearts and souls of each one of you. Carry that flame with you as you leave this place and share it with those you know, with those you love, and most especially with those you have yet to meet. Amen.
In many parts of the world today, Christians are marking the start of Advent. It's a very particular sort of waiting. Perhaps you are waiting too, waiting for Christmas or Hanukkah, waiting for Kwanzaa or Chalaka or some other holy festival. Maybe we're waiting for a paycheck or for a meal, for vacation, or for just a moment's rest. Some waiting for birth and others for death. Perhaps we all wait for something, alone or together. But as we depart today, I have a suggestion. As we wait for peace in the nation, let's celebrate the strides we have made toward justice. As we wait for rest, let us honor our hard work, which continued even when we felt we could not take another step. As we wait for the opportunity at last to embrace, let us rejoice in our steadfast patience to keep one another and ourselves safe. As we wait for life to feel normal again, let us be filled with gratitude for this opportunity today to be together here, to share worship and worry and love. The fabulous, powerful, and boundless family that we are. Blessed be.